see her?
My name is Matt Sharper, and I'm a Deputy
Thank
Chief
you.
with the California Emergency Management Agency Law Enforcement Division, and it's my honor to serve as the California State Search and Rescue Coordinator. And it's also my honor to announce that this is my 14th SAREX since I began with the state. So it is. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor, especially as I announce the host for this year's SAREX, which is Fresno County Sheriff's Department, the Hume Christian Camp, as well as the California Emergency Management Agency. They've done an excellent job. And I'd like to start by saying welcome to sunny California. Well, they didn't get the memo. But this is the only state in our nation when any given moment of any day there's a SAR occurring somewhere in the state of California. We're constantly performing SAR. 24/7, 365. We lead the nation in this arena, and there's no state that has more activity than California, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad, but regardless, we stand ready. We continue to prepare to enhance our skills, and that's why we're here today. The beautiful Sequoia National Forest here at Hume Lake to learn, to train, and prepare. SAREX 2011 is dedicated to the memory of the Fresno County Sheriff's Deputy, a SAR deputy who died in the line of duty a little over a year ago. That was Deputy Joel Wallenman. This Sunday is also the 10th anniversary of our nation's worst disaster, the terrorist attacks of September 11th. So I'd like to ask you all to please join me in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. Now, if you would please join me as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the nation, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now, my pleasure to introduce to you our most gracious host from Hume Lake, the president of Hume Lake Ministries, Mike Anthony. Mike.
Thank you so much, and welcome to my backyard. It's a delight to have you here with us. I moved up here in May from Irvine, down in Southern California, where I'm a reserve deputy with Orange County Sheriff on their search and rescue unit. So I'm used to going to SAR City, sleeping in a tent on a gravel parking lot. So I'm thinking I'm loving this a whole lot more. It's a delight to have you here with us, and I trust this will be a wonderful experience for you. We'll have an opportunity tomorrow morning on 9/11 to talk a little bit about the whole experience. I was a chaplain for the last 12 years as well at the Irvine Police Department, where I was scheduled, served down at the morgue at the pit at Ground Zero shortly after the attack. So tomorrow morning it would be fitting for us to have an opportunity to reflect, and I'll come and share a little bit about my experience there. But I thought it might be good for us to start with a word of prayer as an invocation, asking God's protection and blessing on our time together. Would you join me in a word of prayer together, please? Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful environment that you've created. Thank you for these men and women and their dedication and service, willing to risk their own lives in the service of others. So I pray that this would be a wonderful weekend of opportunity for learning. Lord, I pray that your hand would be upon them for safety and provision, that at the result of having been here for a few days, they will be far better equipped to serve their fellow man. So Lord, to this end, we ask your blessing upon each of them throughout their time here. For this we give you our thanks. Amen. I trust you'll have a wonderful time. Enjoy your stay. Hopefully the sun will come out for you, but I trust that this will be a wonderful learning experience for you.
you tell me who built your koi pond so I can hire that person. What a great place to be, what a backdrop for an event like this. You know, during my service here as the chief, day in and day out, I'm fighting for buying this pencil and that pencil, this eraser, that paper clip, and this paper clip. And I've told Matt many a times, because he calls me and says, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. And Matt, I'm fighting for paper clips. I tell him that you're just a potato chip on my plate. But when I come to these events and see the amount of people, the enthusiasm, what have you, it really makes my heart sing. I realize just how important you folks are. I also realize how many lives you save. And this is probably the best organized, well-oiled machine that I've ever seen in law enforcement, volunteers, civilian help. That whole search and rescue thing in the state of California is probably one of the best in the nation, if not the world. So give yourself all a hand of applause. Now, if you knew me at all, you would know that my idea of search and rescue, I come from a small department down south, and basically it's someone's missing, and so every 2 hours or so you go run by the house to see if the person came by and take a line and go along. And that's the way we do search and rescue. So when I see, it was a real eye-opener to me when I came and I saw how this really works. But I've always said that if I ever get lost, Matt Sharper is probably one of the elite in the business, and that I want him on the team, and I want him to bring you folks so that you can find me. But I'm going to call him first and tell him I want to be found, because there are times that I just don't want to be found. With that said, I'd like to bring my group of folks up and introduce them to you. So if the Law Enforcement Division, please join me up here. Down at the end, you met him when he introduced himself, Matt Sharper, the state law enforcement coordinator for search and rescue, the man in charge. And as I said, I have the most confidence in Matt as what he does, because I don't think there's anyone in the world that does it better than Matt Sharper. Next to him, he used to be our new guy, not anymore, we can call him one of the senior guys, Assistant Chief Greg Smith, who handles transportation. And for the folks that are from Region 2, Mickey's kind of getting ready to retire and what have you, and Greg has kind of been carrying Region 2 also with the transportation stuff. Then we have next to him one of the new guys, and I don't know how these guys are going to fight for that seniority or not, but who's going to be the real new guy, or who's going to be the new guy A or new guy B, or however they call it. But John Sutton from Fish and Game just joined us, and we'll have Region 3. Welcome aboard, John. My everyday life is made very, very easy for me. And the person I lean on the most in the division is Dacia Young, and she helps me through it all. So when I get confused or don't know what I'm doing, and chiefs are real good at that. I lean on Dacia, and Dacia gets me through it. Next to Dacia is Steve Brooks, and he is Matt's assistant, and he also is in the office, and we also depend on him quite a bit, but I know Matt leans on him a lot to get the every day-to-day stuff done, and all that mundane paperwork and what have you that has to be done. Steve is the person. And then a new guy A or new guy B, however he falls into the seniority. Paul Tassoni here is from, he'll have Region 4. He's a retired lieutenant from Sacramento Sheriff's Department. And we're looking forward to it. So it's good to start being able to hire some people and get up to speed. On the other side of me is Bob Gerber. He's the deputy chief, and he runs the corner hospitality program. And that program is one of the best in the nation. They come to Bob looking for advice on how should we do it in our state and that type of stuff. So Bob has built this from the ground, and the way that hospitalities and the corners mutual aid works is all his product, and he just does an outstanding job. So that's my crew. Without these folks, I cannot be who I am. This is the team, and I believe that it's an honor to serve as these folks' chief. Please give them a hand. Just in closing, I know the sheriff isn't here, but I'd like to thank Sheriff Mims for hosting this event this year. It's going to be a great thing. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stay all day. I need to get down to Riverside. They're having their 50th Mountain Rescue Team. They want to give out some awards, what have you. I've said I'd do that. So without further ado, have a good day. I'll bring Matt back up and enjoy it up there. Okay.
I guess all the good comments he said, I'll forgive him for calling me a potato chip. Anyway, now I introduce to you the people that really did the work in pulling this together, and they couldn't have done it without the incident commander for this event here, Lieutenant Phil Caporelli, the president of the Sheriff's.
Welcome to beautiful downtown Hume Lake. Temperature should be in the high 70s and at night in the low 50s. Is that pretty close, Mr. Whitling? I would like to recognize one gentleman from the Hume Lake camp that's been instrumental in putting this thing together. If Stan Whitling could please stand up. Stan is the director of operations here and has been invaluable with his staff to put this all together. So please give Stan a hand. And then at the table I was just at, we forgot one young man who also has been instrumental in planning SAREX, Steve Brooks, who is Matt's assistant. Steve, could you stand up for a second? I'd like to recognize Steve. A couple of housekeeping things for instructional purposes. NES Lamore, who's going to be our featured keynote tonight, has offered up their site. They've been here all week training. Got some interesting things that they'd like to show to the group. They're actually, if you look at your map, they're out where the tent camping has been, right adjacent to the lawn area. So they've opened up their camp to us for those of you that'd like to go there and see them demonstrate what capabilities they bring to the table. The only other classroom change that I have is any of you that were planning on going to the MAP-SAR session, it's not going to be in the staff lounge. It's been moved to the Memorial Chapel. For those of you that have time in between your classes, we have an excellent vendor expo immediately out here to your left in the open areas. And if you follow the roadway around to your left to the Memorial Chapel, ESRI rescue stores, and the Nasar bookstore has come here all the way from Virginia for you folks to enjoy. So as time permits, please avail yourself of the vendors. We're going to have a great raffle tonight at the dinner. We've got 65 items to raffle off, so a lot of folks are going to go home with some really great prizes. Again, I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. And I am the incident commander for today, but there was a lot of people that put in a lot of hours to be able to provide this training opportunity for you. So all the folks that worked on SAREX, would you please stand up? I'd like to recognize the group. I think they're already standing on the back. So give them all a hand, please. I'd like everybody to have a safe, enjoyable day. Please remember this is a dry camp. We need to be respectful of our hosts. If you see anybody in a tan polo that says SAREX 2011, they're part of my overhead team, or anybody in a sheriff's office shirt, please feel free to stop them at any time for anything that you need. We want this to be a great experience for everybody. So enjoy your time here, and if I don't talk to you before, I'll talk to you at tonight's awards dinner. Have a great day.
We're not done yet. I would like to recognize the CalEMA Telecommunications Division. If you notice out here by the command post, there's two camper shell looking things. We call them magoos, and I know there's a technical term for that. Stop by and I'll tell you what it is, because I don't know. But they are the whiz bang, the latest and greatest in interoperability, tying things together, stuff like that. They've done a phenomenal job of heating up this entire camp as far as radio communications for us. And yes, if you're close by, you can even sign on to the Wi-Fi that they've made available by satellite. If you need to make a phone call, it's free. Just stop in and use the phone. So I'd like the TCOM folks, please, to stand so we can honor you throughout the room. I'm also pleased to announce a gentleman who had the furthest to travel to come to SAREX this year. And he's a longtime SAR professional, a partner with the National Association of Search and Rescue, and he's also the past immediate chair of the State Search and Rescue Coordinators Council, and he's a good friend of mine. He is the SAR coordinator from the state of Maryland, Mr. Cole Brown. So he gets a True Grit Award for distance travel to come here, but you know, I can't introduce Cole without also acknowledging Maryland's a great state, but you can fit 7 Marylands in the county of San Bernardino alone. So, that being said, they have their own share of SAR problems for sure. So welcome, Cole. Thank you for joining us. I would now like to take a moment to recognize each and every one of you, because if it wasn't you, we wouldn't have a search and rescue program. It is you that makes our program successful. Your dedication, your devotion, your sacrifice so others may live, I commend you and applaud you. Give yourself a hand. Thank you for making my job easy. Now for the formalities. Oh, this just in. Man tracking. Oh, it's not for me? What am I supposed to do with that? Man tracking. Everybody got it?
It's tough when you have to cue the cue cards. The man tracking class, for those of you that are not certified man trackers, sorry ladies, Pacific Man Tracking is putting on a course today. It's all day. That once you complete that, you are certified to man track throughout the state of California. So we wanted to offer that up to you. If you don't have plans for the day, it's a great way to get some certification out of the weekend.
As I was saying, man tracking. Certified. Peace Officer Standard and Training Certified. Okay, now for the formalities. In order to properly and correctly assure that each and every one of you are covered by the Disaster Service Worker Program for the events that we're about to embark upon, it's time for the swearing-in ceremony. So this is where you all have to take part. First off, I need you all to stand. Very good. Now here's the tricky part. I need you to raise your right hand, and I need you, when I say I, to say your name, not my name. Okay, you ready? I.
Juan Fernandez.
Very good. Now, repeat after me. Do solemnly swear. No, say that one.
Do solemnly swear.
Repeat after me. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I bear true faith and allegiance
that I bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely
And I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion.
without any mental
That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
that I well, okay.
Very good. You're all that. You may be seated. I broke it up as small as I could, okay?
I missed that last phrase.
Me too.
That was too long, huh?
SAREX 2011 is designed to encompass every aspect of SAR to help us prepare for effective and efficient responses to California's wilderness and urban search and rescue environment. So I'm sure you'll find this well-rounded event very beneficial. And again, we truly owe this to our hosts. You will clearly see the extensive efforts and dedication put forth by these outstanding personnel, all for the benefit of search and rescue statewide. So let's give them a hand. I'm also pleased to announce that about this time next year, I hope to be standing on a podium in El Dorado County, who will be the host of SAREX 2012 in Coloma. So this, you got to beat this, guys, okay? So thank you, El Dorado. And now that I've said that, let's go back it up. Now, on behalf of our governor, the Emergency Management Agency, the Law Enforcement Division staff, the sheriff, and her fine staff, the Hume Christian Center, myself, let's begin SAREX 2011.